Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our third installment of our standing resource update, as it originally related to COVID-19, as the title suggests, but in light of recent events that affected our downtown community and Long Beach as a whole, we're going to pivot today and feature kind of a shortened, augmented session that really I want to focus on the immediacy of the moment and what a lot of businesses are going through right now in terms of immediate aid and resources. So coronavirus, as we all know, is still there. It's in the background, and a lot of people have begun the process as it relates to recovery from that. But for today, I really want to shift to focusing specifically on what people can do to rebuild and be resilient. I'll introduce our speakers, and then we'll go into the briefing. And if you have any questions, please type them in the chat. And I think for today as well, if you have anything specific you want to ask, and we'll ask you to specifically what we can do to help, that'll really help in terms of finding some answers, because I know after talking to some city officials as well as our speakers that people are still trying to scrape together some concrete details in terms of solutions or ways to help people. So getting input from the community is really one of the more important things to finding the most effective way to help. So I'll start with our speaker, Brad Pollak. Brad is from the Long Beach Small Business Development Center. He's the director there at Long Beach City College. And the SBDC, their role is to provide managerial and technical services to small businesses, and it really runs the gambit in terms of what they provide. And yeah, Brad, if you want to elaborate on what you do and what you guys have been doing the past couple of months and week, yeah, please go ahead. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Mo. Well, thank you to everybody for being on the call and for the DLBA putting this together. As Mo was saying, my name is Brad Pollak, and I run the Small Business Development Center here in Long Beach, which is located on the campus of Long Beach City College. And for those of you who don't know what the Small Business Development Center is, it's also known as the SBDC. Very straightforward, very cool place that offers business advising to small businesses that are getting started and to small businesses that are growing. It's a federally funded and state funded program, so there is no cost to anybody that we advise. And the advisors are all paid experts in their respective fields. So it's business advising for small businesses. And there are about 1,000 SBDCs across the country, and the Long Beach SBDC is one of those SBDCs. And we serve Long Beach and 16 other cities in LA County, mostly known as the gateway cities, and very proud to help out in any way that we can. So for the last few months, of course, we've been slammed and focused on helping businesses navigate what to do about COVID. And especially there's been a lot of conversation about how to navigate these different loans that have been out there, especially the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, also known as EIDL, and the Paycheck Protection Program, also known as PPP. Very confusing to the end user because the rules change every 3 or 4 minutes. So, so we've been spending a lot of time with our small business clients, sort of helping pull together the necessary information so that you can then apply accordingly and navigate those waters. And so the way it works is it's really easy to sign up with us as a client. Again, it costs nothing. It's no cost to you. You've already paid for it with your taxpayer dollars, but you work one-on-one with an advisor at this point, of course, on the phone or via Zoom or some form of platform. Or we also offer a lot of webinars, and I'll just talk about that in a second, to inform as best we can, especially on COVID-related things. And then we also do whatever we can to help respond in when there's a crisis of any form. So for example, yesterday, I was just talking about this with Sharice and with Mo. You know, at this point, over 60 some odd businesses have been vandalized in Long Beach. So, you know, what does the SBDC do as a response to that? Well, just do whatever we can to come up with information that can be helpful. So that yesterday morning, I was doing a lot of research as quickly as possible about insurance and what the proper guidelines were for businesses so that they could, you know, be set up properly and make the right claims and all that sort of thing. And also reaching out to different businesses in the community to help secure lumber and glass to help protect our businesses. So we're doing, you know, whatever we can as a business advising entity to help businesses, of course, grow and survive. And that's essentially what we do. So that's the long and the short of what we do.
Right. Yeah, it seems like, you know, kind of pivoting from that long-term planning that you guys do at the SBDC to kind of the physical immediacy of helping to find supplies and actually be out there, you know, is great. So thanks for joining us. We also have with us today, Carla Corona, and Carla is from Pacific Gateway, which works the Workforce Development Board that works in tandem with the City of Long Beach and some other areas in the South Bay to do workforce development training, among other things. So Carla, thanks for joining us today on such short notice. And if you want to elaborate a little more about what you guys do, that would be great. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Carla Corona. I'm the Business Employment Specialist with Pacific Gateway. Pacific Gateway, we're a public workforce agency administered by the City of Long Beach. We are part of the Economic Development Department, and we help individuals in the community connect them to employment and training opportunities. And to our employer customers, we assist them in connecting them to resources, different business services such as youth internships, work experience programs, and on-the-job training. And I will cover more details about the programs that we have available later in the presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So let's get into the most immediate resources and things that can be offered. This was released by the City of Long Beach Economic Development Department last night, as it relates to being able to report any kind of lost property or theft, attempted theft that may have happened over the weekend as a result of civil unrest. So the Long Beach Police Department has an online reporting system. And if you have an email address, the crime was committed in Long Beach itself, and you're over 18 years old, you can report anything on the online portal, and I'll send out that link itself along with some others following this webinar. And so if you have any kind of lost property, theft, vandalism, or a hit and run, you can submit it there, and you give a full report in terms of also the availability to post any photos or any evidence like that as well. That's the forum for that. And usually the way the process goes, obviously they're receiving a lot of these reports in the past couple of days, but you file the report, and then usually there's a follow-up call that's given from the police department, and they have their hands full, but they will come out and assess the site itself and follow up with the report. And in addition to that, if you call the business desk at the Long Beach Police Department, once you're assigned a case number, you can follow up on the status of your report through there. And that business desk is open 24 hours a day, and the online police reporting system as well is available at all times. This is another thing specific to the City of Long Beach for the Economic Development Department. Really, our partners there, like Eric Romero, who's spoken at our past webinars, they're there to help facilitate the success of a business. So once you receive the report,
when you get a chance, give me a call back. I'm in all week. Take care.
Sorry, if everyone could just please mute their videos, that would help in terms of the smoothness of the presentation. Sorry, what I was saying was send your report along with your address and your name and the details of your business to businessdevelopment@longbeach.gov, and they will help to facilitate the case as it goes through the police department. And if you have any questions about your business or the status of the report, that's what they're there for as well, in terms of facilitating the entire process. So that's really the most concrete information we can provide at this point on the city side. In terms of business insurance, so majority of businesses are insured, and in a time like this, the best thing that you can do is really report and collect evidence to show to your insurer if you file a claim. So before you clean up, if you haven't cleaned up already, if you have an affected business that was, you know, I would take photos of everything that you can. Anything and everything is valuable evidence in terms of filing an insurance claim, and photo evidence is really some of the best you can get, along with video evidence as well. If you hadn't already, making a list in an inventory so you can get a concrete idea of what you had before, what the value was, and then what you think that you lost and the value of that. Again, that's one of the most important things that you can do at this point in terms of communicating with your insurer when you're filing a claim. And you know, similar to coronavirus and what we've said on these webinars, there is no one size fits all in terms of the solution, both for the pandemic and then as a result of some of the vandalism and damaged property that happened this past week. So calling your insurance carrier, speaking to an agent or a person over the phone really is going to be one of the best ways to figure out exactly what you can do in your specific situation as it relates to your policy and filing a claim as well. And Brad and Carla will kind of reiterate that as well. If you're communicating with anyone from the city or an advisor, there is no one size fits all for what's going on right now. So speaking to a person is really one of the best things that you can do. And lastly, you know, asking about the policy itself. So business interruption coverage is the industry term for a claim or a policy that may cover what happened to your business. So really creating a list and an inventory, documenting the evidence, and filing a police report as well, and including that as part of your insurance claim. Those are really the most definite, immediate steps that someone could take at the moment in order to ensure that the process for receiving any kind of assistance goes as smoothly as possible. And the city is working on more of a detailed response, as well as putting out communications-wise a more unified response to what's happened. But really, these are the most concrete details we're able to give at this time. So, you know, I would just really stress talking to someone over the phone or in person so you can get a kind of a customized response to what's going on is really the best thing that you can do right now. And as I said, the slides and the links and information that we're going to go over today, I will email those out to everyone. And so I know that this is a lot of information to kind of take in all at once. So that'll be sent out to be able to be looked at later. And this is the number for the business hotline to call, 562-570-4249 or 4BIZ. And calling this hotline, you can get help with everything from filing for financial assistance as it relates to coronavirus and like an EIDL loan or a Paycheck Protection Program loan. You can call concerning if your business was damaged or if you had any theft happen. This is the one-stop phone number for all of that, and they'll redirect you to services as necessary. It's someone at the Small Business Development Center or Pacific Gateway, or if you have a question about your police report, this is the number to call, and they're there to help. That's what they want to do, and they're very busy at the moment in terms of trying to figure out, you know, how to respond to this. So I want to thank them for being there. as it relates to funding, I want to bring up some various fundraising efforts that have come up over the past 24 hours. You know, we saw thousands of people arrive in downtown yesterday morning to help clean up, and it was overwhelming support. People were sent up to Uptown and North Long Beach, Cambodia Town, and Midtown areas. There's so many people out there willing to you know, donate their time and physical labor to clean up, and we can see that as well in terms of fundraising efforts. So this is just a brief put together list for some online fundraising for various businesses in downtown. Rebuild Long Beach, the fourth one. This is just a general fund for all businesses, but I will send out these links specifically after the webinar is over. But you know, money talks, and I think that this is one of the most immediate ways that you can help out a local small business, a mom and pop shop, is to donate to these GoFundMes. And these are run by the businesses themselves or their family. And there's more information on the GoFundMe page as well about what they plan to do with the funds. But I think that, you know, it's a great example of the resiliency of Long Beach paired with the people showing up in droves yesterday to help clean up. And so it's good to see, and, you know, it's a good first step, but, you know, really right now focusing on filing an insurance claim, documenting the evidence, and then if you have the time and the money, being able to donate to some immediately and directly to some local businesses is really where you'll be able to help out the most. So that's really what I can give from the city side. As I said, they will be updating the information and providing more details as the week unfolds. But right now they're trying to balance, you know, this immediacy of affected businesses and property damage with coronavirus. So they're doing everything they can, but you know, more concrete details will be coming out in the following days. So next, I want to move over to Carla from the Pacific Gateway. I know that you guys are pivoting as well at the moment in terms of what you can provide as it relates to damaged or affected businesses, but I know that there's some workforce programs that are ready and waiting when businesses are ready to expand, and I'll let you elaborate on those. I understand you have some slides you want to share, so I'll let you share your screen and go over those. Let's see, I believe you're on mute, Carla.
Great, thank you, Morris. Yes, so to provide a quick update again on the workforce side. So Pacific Gateway, again, we are with the City Economic Development Department under the Workforce Development Bureau. Pacific Gateway is a public workforce agency serving the cities of Long Beach, Signal Hill, and also the Los Angeles Harbor communities. And we connect adults, youth, and businesses to opportunities, job seekers to employment, and businesses to skilled workers. And some of the businesses that we provide are recruitment and in hiring, youth hiring and internships. And then we have our most popular program, our on-the-job training program. On the hiring and recruitment, so we help businesses source talent and assist through the setup of a single interview, and we coordinate mass recruitment events. Some examples of those include helping a small accounting firm hire its first administrative assistant and coordinating a mass recruitment event for a major grocery chain. And we have done this for Northgate Markets, with Vons, and then we work also very closely with Starbucks in assisting them with their recruitment needs. Our youth hiring programs, we have funding that comes from Los Angeles County Department of Public Social Services to put youth and young adults in work experience opportunities. Our ages are 14 through 24, and we cover 100 hours of their time. Prior to placing them in the work site, they do complete 20 hours of work readiness training, which is also paid. And again, wages and workers' comp is paid by the city. Recently, we have received additional funding to help adults that have limited work experience, also with internships or work experience opportunities. This program provides 200 to 300 hours depending on the grant, and participants also complete work readiness training prior to starting at a work site. And so we assist in pre-screening and ensuring that the individual that we place at your site is a good fit for that position. And then lastly here, we have our on-the-job training program. This program reimburses 50% of a new hire's wages during the period that they're in training for their new position. The qualifying positions must be full-time with the starting wage of at least $15 an hour. And the training must be at least 120 hours and can go up to a maximum of 360. If you want additional information, please feel free to contact me directly. My number is there on the screen and my email address. And for additional information on the programs that we offer, you can visit our website at www.pacific-gateway.org.
Great, thank you, Carla. You know, that's some great resources, and I think especially now than ever, you know, the concept of workforce development is investing in people rather than necessarily just investing, you know, financially in a business as well. And so with the resiliency we're seeing from the Long Beach community in terms of showing up to help rebuild, and the eagerness of the community to you know, to show that they're here to stay, having workforce development programs ready to go and having that you know, public access to them really shows that Long Beach and the South Bay area as a whole is you know, they're there for the people themselves, because that's ultimately what's behind the business. So thank you for sharing that. And I have the number up here as well, again, 562-570-3700, and give them a call. Again, there have specified, you know, assistance experts there to figure out what will best fit your program or your work, your employer situation. And, you know, they're there for you in terms of helping to rebuild and helping to develop a workforce that is local and is really actually invested in the company themselves. So thank you, Carla. Brad, I'll move on to you. In terms of,
do you want me to bring my presentation on the screen?
If you want to go through it. You mentioned earlier a couple of programs already in formation of the SPDC, so I'll let you share that and go over those programs, and then maybe how you've you know, altered your advising services in light of what's happened the past couple of days. So
I had a quick question for Carla though.
Yeah.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, Carla. I think what you guys do is awesome. And I had a question I keep forgetting to ask you. The on-the-job training.
Yes.
Does Pacific Gateway work with the employer to train the employee, or does you just hand the employee over to the business and they do all the training?
The employer does all the training. We assist in finding employees for that opening that they have available. And we could also do a reverse referral. So if the employer has identified someone that they want to hire for that particular position, we just will meet with the employee or with the candidate to ensure that they qualify for the program. And to qualify for the program, the candidate must be unemployed and just has to meet our general program eligibility requirements, which is having right to work in the United States, and again, the position must be full-time and it has to pay at least $15 an hour.
Got it. And I'm assuming you help them put together their resumes?
We'll assist with resume, and then also we'll need a training, more information from the employer on what that training will entail, so we can assist the candidates skills and experience. So that'll help us determine how many hours they're eligible for, so they can be eligible for from 120 to 360 hours. And the reimbursement is 50% of their wages. And the maximum is $25, 25 and some change that the employer can pay, but we can only reimburse, again, 50% of that maximum. So if an employee pays $30 an hour, we could only, again, just do the up to 25 and I think it's 41 cents an hour.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, it's great what you guys do. I'm going to see if I can share. How do I do this? All right, for whatever reason.
That's okay. I got it. I have it up here, Brad, if you want to.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
Well, I just want to, am I able to share my screen? Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, you got it? Great. Okay, cool.
Here we go. 1 second. Okay, then this here. All right, can you see my screen?
Yep, you're good to go, Brad.
Okay. So I'm going to just whip through this because it reiterates most of what I was talking about before, but sometimes visuals can help. So here we go. So the SBDC is a business advising entity. We're part of, put it this way, we are administered by the SBA, the Small Business Administration. Big part of our funding comes from the SBA. A lot of people that call us are a little confused as to, are we the SBA? And we are not. We are administered by the SBA, but we are the Small Business Development Center. And again, I only bring this up because a lot of businesses, and understandably so, are calling whoever they can get in touch with to ask for business advising help. And whether they're calling the SBA or the SBDC or SCORE or any other great operations, it doesn't really matter. They just want help, and I totally get it. But we are our standalone selves as the SBDC, but we are administered by the SBA. Let's see what else we got here that's even remotely interesting. What we do is we offer business advising, and anybody is eligible as a small business to get help. It's all doesn't cost anything, and anybody is eligible. And the way it works is, we're the Long Beach SBDC, so we work with businesses that are in Long Beach or any of the other 17 cities that we serve. But let's suppose somebody calls us and, from Keokuk, Iowa, we can hook that person up with somebody in Keokuk, Iowa. There's 1,000 of us across the country. And so we offer one-on-one advising with a paid expert to help you with your challenges. And then we also offer workshops and webinars, and particularly now we're offering a ton of webinars, which I'll get into in a second. And what are some of the things that we help with? Business planning. There's every reason in the world right now for existing businesses to be updating their business plans. Really, really important, because so many businesses are in need of having to pivot, adapt, change, etc., based on all the craziness that's going on. We also do a tremendous amount of business loan advising. What that means is, if you're trying to figure out whether or not you're even eligible for a loan, and you're trying to figure out how to navigate those waters and what documents to complete and so on and so forth, we can help you do that. We ourselves don't do the lending, but we help you sort of get set up so that you can work with your lender and have your ducks in a row a lot more efficiently than you might have otherwise. A huge focus of what we do is help businesses understand their financials. Many businesses are uncomfortable with the concept of finance, and that's unnecessarily so, but they are. Understanding what your balance sheet is, what your profit and loss statement is, what your cash flow is. None of that is nearly as confusing as it might seem to some businesses, so we help walk through that. This is a particularly important topic right now, because if you're trying to figure out whether or not you can stay in business or whether you should cut your business in half or whether you're able to grow. The numbers tell everything. So understanding the numbers is something we help with a lot. Branding and marketing. If there's ever a time for the need to really make sure you're marketing as effectively as you can, it's now. We're still open. We're still in business. We now have this new service, this new product, and so on and so forth. It's all a function of marketing, and we help you strategize with that. Understanding how to manage your business, understanding how to better manage and lead your employees, some of whom are staying, some of whom are going. You know, the whole operations side of what you do might be a little bit overwhelming. We can help you think through that. And then we're spending a lot of time with our clients on, of course, all web-related types of things, including, of course, e-commerce, which is exploding. And again, that's not as complicated as it might seem to some businesses, but we can walk you through a strategy to help you with your e-commerce. And we deal with import and export questions and a lot of other things. But generally speaking, this is what we advise with. As I was saying before, it doesn't cost you anything. You've already paid for it with your taxpayer dollars, and you're offered a help by paid expert advisors. Now, the best way to reach us, especially because of all that's happening, you can certainly call us at 938-5100, but I highly recommend going to this longbeachsbdc.org, call me, because that puts you right into an appointment with an advisor so that we can get you registered and all that other good stuff. So that's really the best way to reach us. And then I also wanted to bring to your attention, we're offering boatloads of well, it's called, you know, you see workshops on the screen, but at this point, they're really webinars. You know, we're like, for example, in June, we're going to have just a ton, and I'm sure in July and August as well and beyond. And the best way to find out what we're up to with those workshops is at this address. And the workshops include everything from sort of understanding PPP to we're doing a webinar for commercial landlords, understanding your financials. We're doing a whole Instagram series so you can learn how to actually sell using Instagram, increase your sale. Well, then we're going to do a Facebook series. We'll probably do a LinkedIn series. All kinds of webinars that are marketing related. I'm pushing it hard out of our SBDC because this is what's going to help businesses, you know, on top of having a great product or service, marketing is going to help them grow. So, and this is my contact information if you want to contact me. But I want to, and I know Mo's going to send this out, but I also want to bring to your attention, I'm going to stop sharing for a second here, if I may. 1 second, bear with me, everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen again, Mo.
Yep.
Okay, can you see my screen okay?
Yep.
This is a Word doc. I apologize. I just put it together this morning. So, so something that I think can be of a great interest to businesses is, so see here, I'm going to put this in the chat right now. This smallbizla.org/COVID-19/webinars. This week, starting today, actually at 1 o'clock, we're doing some PPP webinars. They're called, I received the PPP loan, now what, right? And that's going to be pretty much a Q&A type of webinar. A lot of people sign on to these webinars because the PPP is, it can be confusing, especially the forgiveness part of it, which is enormously complicated. So this is just bringing it to your attention that we're doing it today at 1 o'clock rather. We're doing it tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and we're doing it at Thursday at 1 o'clock. It's the same webinar. It's Q&A. We don't know if there's going to be, I think the other day there were 500 and something people on it. It's a big topic, obviously. And then also, in addition to doing that one tomorrow at 1 o'clock, also tomorrow at 11 o'clock is a rent relief conversation for commercial landlords. There's a ton of challenges between landlords and tenants, and we've been focusing a lot, as we will continue to do, focus on the tenant side of things, how to negotiate and basically communicate with your landlord. But, you know, landlords themselves are also small businesses, and they need a forum within which to kind of understand some scenarios. So that's what that's about. And then I'm going to scroll back up here, something that I think is also important. So every day, Monday through Friday, our colleagues at the Orange County Inland Empire SBDC, along with us at the LA region, have, let me just highlight it here, a daily Q&A webinar that is specifically focused on EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, and the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program. And that has hundreds of people on that one every day, small businesses. And you type in your question in the chat, and one of the moderators asks the question, and there are experts that try to answer as many of the questions as possible. And that's every day at 3 o'clock. And you can, and to find out, you know, how to get that link and so on and so forth, go right here, and I'll put that in the chat as soon as I'm done. It's this smallbizla.org COVID-19/webinars. So that's throwing a lot at you, I realize, but it's just one link to go to, and then you'll have access. And I'm sure we'll do more of it the following week and the week after that. We're just basically all of us going week by week, seeing what the demand is, what the need is, what information is wanted. So I wanted to share that with you, and I'll take that off now. So yeah, and then I'll put in the chat, Mo, I'll put that right now in the chat.
Great. Thanks. Yeah, I know. I think, you know, really what the DLBA's role is kind of as an ombudsman between experts like you and Carla and business owners. So you guys obviously have a much more in-depth working knowledge of the loan programs themselves, things like filing for an insurance claim, all of that. And so really what we're here for is to refer them and amplify your signal, as it were. So those webinars are great. And I've spoken to some of Brad's colleagues as well as Carlos before, and they're all deeply, deeply invested in the community. And really what they just want to see is the success of the businesses as well as the employees. And so they're all there for you. I kind of skipped over the economic injury disaster loan and paycheck protection program, but I will send that information out in the slides. I was just trying to focus on some of the more immediate resources that are available to some businesses that may be hurting now more than usual in the past months. So I kind of went over this briefly in the beginning, and I'll start by going over it again in terms of as it relates to maybe filing a claim or filing a police report. If you want to expedite your assistance process for something related to that, filing a online report and getting a case number is one of the best things that you can do immediately. And as I said, supplying evidence such as photos and a list of inventory. Those are all necessary if you're going to try and then go towards filing an insurance claim, and then maybe reaching out to someone like Brad at the SBDC for advising and strategy, as well as, you know, when you feel ready, reaching out to the workforce development programs to see where they can help you out. But I think that's, you know, speaking personally, I would say that's probably one of the most immediate things that you can do right now. Brad or Carla, if you guys have anything you'd like to add on to that, now's your chance.
Well, when it comes to insurance, Mo,
yeah.
My strong recommendation is that a business goes directly to their insurance agent and broker. We are not at the SBDC specialists in insurance. We can we can help brainstorm about who to perhaps go to, but we ourselves are not, you know, the research that you put up there on the screen is stuff that I did yesterday talking with Dan Roddy at HMBD Insurance, who's been in the business, you know, for maybe 40 years. That's a guy I trust. And it was Dan who said, look, if possible, despite the emotional side of it, obviously, take photos of everything. Like you said, Mo, the whole 9 yards. Take photos of everything, document everything. You know, get everything as documented as you can, and then walk through with your insurance agent what the next steps can be. This is vandalism. This is categorical theft. This is, you know, businesses should be covered for that. This is something that I would imagine some insurance companies will fight against, of course, because they're insurance companies. But if you're insured and you've been basically robbed, vandalized, stolen from, you know, incredible property damage, you should be insured for that. And that's what you want to talk about with, you know, with your agent. So, you know, our role is to just reinforce that. And if somebody comes to us and says, you know, I can't imagine, but, you know, if there's an uninsured situation, we can talk it through, listen specifically to the situation, and see if we ourselves can, as a community of advisors, brainstorm with one another to come up with a solution, then great. But dealing directly with your insurance broker or agent is, I think, a very important thing to do.
And Carla, if you had anything else you wanted to add on to that in terms of what people can do to expedite the process for both, you know, coronavirus, or if you've, you know, had recent property damage, anything that you think would be helpful.
Yeah, we're working closely with our Business Development Bureau, with Economic Development Department. And I know that the city sent out an email this morning, so I'll forward that to you. And as far as accessing our services to expedite the process, businesses that are interested in utilizing our on-the-job training or internship programs, it's just having their insurance available. We will need to collect that, and their business license, and having a job description available so that can help us in identifying and pre-screening candidates for them. So on the business development side, I can't speak a lot about on that. I know that our team is working, you know, hard and outreaching, connecting with businesses to try to get as much information, provide those resources. So I'll send you that email again that went out this morning, so you can share it with all the employers and participants.
Thanks, Carla. Yeah, I think I kind of am reiterating in these two slides here what really the meat of that email was, but I should mention in terms of expediting any kind of process, the Small Business Development Department, part of economic development at the city, they're there, as I said, to make things go smoothly and help you through the process. So once you have the necessary information, like the police report, sending that to business development at longbeach.gov, that's going to be a pretty valuable partner in terms of trying to navigate the bureaucracy of the police department, you know, the economic development department. And so they're really there to make sure that all of those are working together. So thank you for that. Let me get to, let's see. So in terms of roadblocks or delays that you guys have observed, anyone experiencing in the outreach or assistant process, this might be more of a question as it relates to coronavirus, just because of the amount of time that we've had compared to the past 48 hours for something like property damage. But just anything at all, if you guys have tips for what people, you know, what commonly it might be slowing people down in trying to receive assistance.
Well, I mean, as I've mentioned in the past, I think, Mo, the biggest roadblock for us at the SBDC is people don't know about us. They don't know that we're here. A lot more people do now than before, than 8 weeks ago, I can tell you that much. But that's the biggest roadblock. And sometimes it can be a little confusing who we are compared to other programs. But that's the biggest one, because once we can then connect with somebody, generally speaking, we can at least tackle the majority of the challenges that we're faced with. And if we ourselves can't do it, there are other advisors there are 8 SBDCs in the Los Angeles region. We are one of those 8. So we're very well, connected with other advisors, and of course with our brethren in Orange County and in the Inland Empire. So, we're pretty good resource to, at the very least, be able to listen to your challenge and head you in the right direction to solve that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's finding, people just don't know about us. That's the biggest roadblock.
Yeah. That's why we're here trying to amplify the signal. So you guys
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And for us, Pacific Gateway, again, we have a lot of resources, funding that's available. Our grants do change from time to time. So it's always, good just to connect from someone in our team, business engagement. We can work directly with the business to really identify their needs, find out exactly what they're looking for. If we can help in finding someone that, for example, a lot of businesses want interns, college interns, and we don't do a lot of the college internships. We do more of the work experience, the funding, again, that we receive from the county, but we work very closely with Cal State Long Beach City College, in connecting those students in internships. They may not be by Pacific Gateway, but these students may be eligible to get to receive credit for participating again in an internship. So again, it's not knowing about our services and just again, the information that we offer on the job seeker side. We have also a lot of funding available for individuals that want to be retrained. We have counselors that really work with our job seekers in assessing their skills and in helping them develop an employment plan and providing them job leads. So again, we're here to support, we're here to help. If any questions come up, send that, or just feel free to contact me directly.
Mm-hmm. And I think I'll reiterate the fact that this is not a one-size-fits-all with coronavirus, and both, with some of the property damage and stuff that we've seen the past couple of days. It is, unprecedented. And so there is no set way to go about this. And so talking to someone, an actual person on the other side of the phone or something, or through an email, that's really, I think, where Long Beach shines in terms of having that personal connection to people in the city and to these community organizations, and being able to have them assess your customized situation essentially and see what would best work for you. So really that's what I kind of wanted to highlight here in terms of pivoting our content, is just to reiterate the fact that we are a resilient community, and that there are, real human people behind these businesses, and also behind city departments and workforce development boards and small business advising. And these people are just as invested in the community as you are, and your employees. And that's, I think that's really important, and it's really unique for Long Beach. I have one question here that came up as it relates to insurance. You guys, I'm unsure whether or not you might be able to answer this, but I can refer it to someone in the DLBA if you're not. They're asking about covering insurance. They only have liability insurance, and they were worried that would not cover destruction of their business. So are you guys able to answer that at all?
I would absolutely ask if you have liability insurance, I'm assuming that you have a broker or an agent, and just, ask directly. I would imagine that you are covered, but I defer that to your insurance broker if you have one. Okay. This is, I think Randy. This is Randy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so I'll follow up with that, but that's a good question, and that's kind of what we're going to be doing at the DLBA, is trying to collect any kind of questions that come up and refer them to people like you guys at the city.
Yeah, I mean, I could put together a list of insurance agents, you know, in Long Beach, but I think anybody's as capable of doing that as I am. You know, the agency that I work with myself is one that I worked with for 25 plus years. And again, this is this gentleman, Dan Roddy, who is the president of HMBD.
Mm-hmm.
I turned to him because he's got, like I said before, 30 some odd years of experience, but he's not the only game in town. So if Randy, you need some suggestions of other places, you're welcome to email me and I'll do some research for sure.
Thank you. I will also mention, I think he was speaking on behalf of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, which was severely affected in terms of having extensive fire damage. There is a GoFundMe specifically for that business, and as you can see, they've raised $5K over their goal already in terms of raising money to bring that back. And so I'll send these links out following this so that you guys are able to look at them. But if you have any spare time or financial ability, this is a prime example of the Long Beach community kind of coming together and taking matters into their own hands in the best way possible and providing direct funds to these affected businesses. So I'll send them out, but I just wanted to let you know that that business in particular does have an active GoFundMe. So I want to thank you for bringing that up, Randy. Other than that, I think that's currently where we're at in terms of concrete information. I'll say it one more time. The best way to figure out what would best fit you guys is to call these places, or as Brad said, to go to the website for Small Biz LA. And so for workforce development, that 562-570-3700 number, if you're looking for help in terms of trying to get back employees or hire locally as well, that is a great place to check out. For economic development, and so that relates to any kind of federal loans, Kiva micro loans, or as I said, if you're trying to find out more information as it relates to filing a police report and what you would need, this hotline number 562-570-4BIZ, so 4249, that they're there to answer your questions as it relates to that. And Brad, the number you mentioned would be pretty busy since you guys are out at the moment, but that Call Me web link, which I'll send out, that's the best immediate step I think that you can take.
And they're welcome to call 938-5100 as well. Absolutely.
Okay, great. But I want to thank everyone for bearing with us today. It's been a hectic past couple of days in downtown, and I'm really proud of our community for showing up yesterday, thousands of people to help rebuild physically, and now I'm trying to heal some of those emotional scars and financial assistance as well. So thank you for bearing with us. And our next webinar, slight change in topic, it'll be this Friday, and we're going to be covering office spaces and working from home. So we're going to be hearing from a large employer in Long Beach in downtown, a psychologist, professional from Cal State Long Beach, and an architect who's working on designing some new spaces as it relates to coronavirus. So we're living in a pretty quickly changing world, and this is just kind of going to highlight just one aspect of the possible future and what it may look like. So that'll be the same Zoom link as today, Friday, same time as today as well. So I encourage everyone to attend that. But I want to thank Brad and Carla for joining us today. You guys have been really helpful and being able to make time, especially now more than ever. So thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Everybody's safe. Thank you, Mo.
Yeah. Great. All right. That's it. So thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you all Friday, hopefully. And I'll be setting up those links shortly. So thank you.